Hey guys, right quick before I get go live on YouTube, I wanted to share something with my Patreons exclusively. The other day, my wife asked me, "Nay, what made you start doing YouTube?" And I'm trying to hurry up and do this, guys. I'm sorry if I'm like scatterbrained or it seems like I'm not paying attention, but I gotta walk away because I have to do some things. But so my wife was like, "What made you decide to do YouTube?" And I told her the story about when my mom had passed about 10 years ago. It was 12, 19, 2008. Changed my life. What ended up happening changed my life. Our mom had passed. Me and my sister's mom had passed like suddenly, right? And my sister at the time was in a relationship. I was single. I told y'all throughout my life, it's like I'm always more single than I am in a relationship. I just now, as a 46-year-old woman, decided to settle down with my wife because she's been there forever. You know, it's funny that I've never gone backwards in a relationship ever, except for with her. It's like is whenever she knocks on the door, it's like my wife is kind of crazy. So like she'll just randomly just like pop up at my door. She don't care if I have somebody. She don't care. She's just always been there. And my dumb ass just always just let her back in, you know. And then for some reason, you know, we just separate again forever. And we've been back and forth like that for 15 years. And then last year, timing was right. She wasn't with anybody. I wasn't with anybody. I digress. So then what happened was my sister was in a relationship and I wasn't. So, you know, when you go through a tragic situation in your life, you want to be with your, you know, person, right? And, you know, that left me by myself, and me and my BFF had not spoken in a while. Like I think me and BFF hooked back up like in 2009, because again, BFF is just like my cancer is just like my you know, wife. We fall out and then we get back together maybe years later, and it's like we never missed a beat with each other. So when my mom passed, I felt alone. You know, I was by myself. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just shut everybody out. If it wasn't my sister, I didn't want to talk to nobody. And unfortunately, I was in a job that I was with the government that allowed me basically to take a whole month off. Like it was a long enough time, and they weren't pressing me to come back either, you know. But it took I was given enough time, because also my job was like my family. When I worked with the government, they was taking care of everything for me, you know. So like they was going to court for me and writing reports when it was necessary. All, you know, we had like a system that we did, right? So what happened was, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, guys. So what happened was I started watching YouTube. I don't know how I came across it, but I came across this guy named Quadir. And through all that crying, guys, I swear to you, I cried, had to be about, oh my God, I think I cried like 2 weeks straight. It was crazy. It was crazy. You know, and let me say this, when you lose your mom, you think that you've been through heartbreak. You know, you think that you've been through something rough or tough, or, you know, you think that you've been through hardships in your life, right? But no pain is like when you lose your mother. And me and my mom were like this. I told y'all that me and my mother were like 15 years apart. So yeah, because we, in our younger years, it was rough because, you know, it was the older daughter, mother dynamic where, you know, they always be, you know, it's always a clash thing with the mother-daughter type thing. But when we got older and I became mature and I started to really, really look back at how hard life was, because I was going through life myself, and I looked at it, and, you know, I've really started to appreciate her for all the sacrifice that she made in life, you know. So our last years together were amazing. So it hit me like it was a devastation to me, because to not have some like your mom, or to feel like you didn't have your mom, because y'all, you know, had this back and forth dynamic between each other, and then the tide shifts, and then this is now your best friend. You love her, you know what I'm saying? Like you are in love with your mom. And at that time I was in love with her. But the thing about it was, because I'm a communicative person, I would tell her all the time, Mommy, thank you so much for all the sacrifices that you made. Getting back, I'm just everything. So anyway, going back to YouTube, right? So I had came across this guy named Quadir. Okay, his name is also Don Sablon on it. And after weeks and weeks of crying, I laughed. I laughed, and it just changed. It just helped me. And YouTube to me is always a place where people go for therapy, I guess. People want to know that they're not alone. When you could connect with somebody, when you're going through bad things, they, make you feel alive again. And when it came down to Quadir, I will always, 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 always thank him. Always thank him. I've reached out to him before on Facebook, and he told me that, and he responded to me. That was order, like, but amazing. I just found a lot of people that, could keep my mind off of what I was going through, So it was Quadir, Rocks, Bondi Blue. Even on Instagram, I found Super. It was a good amount of people. I think I found James and Sean. I can't remember because it was so long ago, right? And then what ended up happening, I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago, when I was still with the government, somebody at my job was like, "Nay, you are funny. You are really, really funny, girl. You'll lift anybody's spirits up." So then I was like, well, hell, I need to start getting paid for this. I started my YouTube channel, and I got shout outs from other YouTubers that were not large, like Rocks or The Scorpion Show. That was another person that I found. But it was a couple of people that shouted me out. James, Sean, Shelly, Tiki 44. It was a couple of people over there, and I got my numbers, and I just talked, and people found me entertaining, and it was my place where I can get out of the real world and the tragedy, because I started going through more tragedy after that. But a place where I could go where, it was people there that was giving me, just giving me positive energy. And I love that. I mean, there's some negative energy along the way, but I love that positive energy that they were giving me. So yeah, I think it was 2016 that I started doing video. It's 2008. No, I think it was 2000. Yeah, February 2016, because I stopped working for the government in March or April. But anyway, guys, that's how I got here, and that's a little piece of something that I wanted to give you. I'm getting ready to go live, guys, and thank you for all your support. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Bye, deuce.